I'm Michelle, and welcome to the Lightwork Restoration channel, hoping to restore light back to the planet. For those of you that are new to the channel, I'm a light worker that uses automatic writing to channel messages from my guides on personal and spiritual development. In February, those messages changed and became more about what was happening globally, politically, society, and the battle between light and dark. So coming from my spirit guides, they help you find a way of shifting your perspective and coming back into the light instead of being pulled into the darkness or the fear that is happening all around you. So I've started sharing these messages on this platform in order to help other people come back to their center and come back to their light. So we started last week with a reading that was talking about the battle between light and dark, and we're going to continue on that subject, but also start talking about duality and coming back into a place of balance. So you need to find common ground, understanding where the other is coming from. And then, as always, realizing that you are stronger than you realize when you take off the blinders and come from a place of love. So let's get started. Find what you do have a say or control over and focus on that. Find the flow with everything else. You need to find the balance in a way to stay calm no matter what is happening around you. It's only a change. You've been through change before. Like anything else, you just need to take it one step at a time. This prevents you from getting overwhelmed or anxious about the future. Change is not always permanent. Sometimes you need to tolerate things during transitions that you might not agree with, but you have no control over. Hold true to your values and your perspective. Understand what you can push back on and what you can't. Save your energy accordingly. No matter how it looks or where it leads, this is only a change. Find what you can accept and what you can't. Much like when you're looking at individual changes for yourself, you can adjust some things. Would a demographic change support your individual needs? A job change, your surroundings? What on an individual level can you shift to put yourself in a setting where you feel safe and are able to focus on your gifts and getting those out to those who would most benefit? All changes are possibilities and opportunities. They allow things to be seen, which allows new ways of thinking and ideas. This can promote improvements and adjustments to fix what needs healed at a higher level. Keep in mind, there are always duality, even if the opposition seems to be the focus now. It's only a matter of time before the other side comes together to bring things back into balance. It's the imbalance that you are feeling, which is what creates the tension. Step back from the chaos and put your focus on balance. Things always must go back to center. Who is doing the work to get things there? What is being addressed in the background? Remember, perspective is everything. Instead of focusing on what you don't like, find where the counterpart is and what is rising to create balance. The pendulum swings both ways. It just needs to find its rhythm. When the pendulum gets held in one position for too long, it has no choice but to break. Everything must be in balance and have a rhythm to be in flow with the universe. Pushing too hard to one side prevents that and forms chaos. When that occurs, it's an opportunity to replace what's happening with something new, something that will have a healthier balance for the whole. However, this collapse caused by the strain will have some fallouts which will be felt on many levels. There will be some damage that cannot be undone. The damage is sometimes a way to prove a point, showing what the results are when you aren't in the natural flow of life. Though there is loss, there will be much bigger gain from fixing what was broken beyond repair. It's the equivalent of taking it down to the foundation and building it better with all possibilities of issues in mind. This helps you avoid ever having the same or similar issues in the future. The transition to get there is a hard road to travel. Though you might not want to go through it, you already are. The only way to address it is to go through and reach the other side. There is strength and perseverance that comes from going through something on such a large scale that affects many aspects. You must not focus on the broken pieces and how it could have been prevented. Focus instead on the opportunity it provides and what can be built in its place once it's time to rebuild. During this transition is when you must turn within and find your inner strength. Find your personal balance and come from a place where you can't be dragged down under the tide. You must find the correct flow to move with things when they change instead of fighting against the current. You are stronger than you think. You must remember everyone is facing the same things. Find your community, find your comfort together. Focus on the solutions and not what can't be resolved. There is always light. Sometimes the cracks need to become bigger to see it. Focus your energy on making yourself better so that you're ready for the next stage of events. Will you be looked on as a leader or someone who crumbled when things got hard? Find your strength and turn to that when you feel weak due to outside forces. Remember, it's the anticipation and the not knowing that creates fear. However, none of that is in the present moment. Things are in flux and have not yet been set into place in a manner that affects you in the present moment. Yet the present moment is where you are currently. If you put your focus on that, you realize that you don't need to be reactionary to anything as it's not directly in your sphere at the moment, which is all you need to be in. Whenever fear creeps in, ask, is it past, present, or future that is creating tension? Anything other than the present is a waste of your time and energy. It is not something you can change, adjust, or address that is not directly on your plate. Though there are steps for preparation and preventative measures, is it your place or someone else's job to handle? Are you preparing for the worst by manifesting it or preparing for a better outcome? Always check in and see where you are, what you are believing, and where you are placing your energy. You might find that nothing needs to be addressed by you. You might find that nothing has changed yet, just your perspective of the possibilities and their outcome. You can change your perspective. You can change where you place your focus. You can believe in something better instead of the worst case scenario. These are all things you can control in the present moment. Find what is pulling at you and if it is something in the now or just propaganda to create fear and separation. You might find that nothing is as bad as it seems and there is always steps in place to fix the issues and problems. You just weren't looking in the right direction. Shift your focus and see that better future instead of the lies you are being fed. Find the common ground. It's harder to change things on a larger scale if people are being manipulated to be divided against each other. Though there is duality, you must look for balance instead of focusing on the topics that create tension. Focus on the ones everyone can agree on. You can find common ground. You can join together to get those topics situated and working properly. Once you're able to work together on those topics, you have established a basis of respect. You'll then be able to slowly work your way into more polarizing topics with compassion and understanding. You can't expect change in community when conversations are combative and argumentative. You must start small and ease the tensions first. Often, the heavier topics are that way due to fear or not understanding how they affect those not in the same circles or demographics that the person might be familiar with. You can't sell the importance of airplane safety as a priority to a tribal community in the Amazon. It's not something they understand. It's not part of their culture or knowledge base. This means it's not a priority for them. They won't be able to fully understand or see your perspective as it's not something of importance in their lives. You must bridge the gap and create that understanding. You must find when the comprehension is lost and find proactive ways to educate or make experiences accessible so that more can understand and see how things come together in their value. You can't blame a blind person for not understanding art or a deaf person for not enjoying music. You must come from understanding. Notice why it does not make sense to the other party. Focus on inclusion, not separation. How can this make sense to all parties? What is the way to educate and incorporate instead of separate? There is always a solution. You just need to understand what the real problem is first. It can't always be ignorance and stubbornness. Look deeper and see why it's not working. Then you can bridge the gap and get everyone on the same page. The goal is to move forward together. Notice the patterns. It's very easy to manipulate if no one is paying attention. This is why you must notice patterns and start asking questions. If something feels off, it usually is. Not everyone has the best intentions. Some dive fully into their ego self and completely abandon their spiritual side. They will put self-interest above love and peace. These are the individuals you must worry about. They are operating from a ruthless source and they don't always have what is best for others in mind. They are more concerned with themselves and creating hierarchy than creating connection or hospitable environments for others. Everyone has free will and can test out how to navigate this plane how they want. However, you must still proceed with caution around those who take things too far. They are still creators, but what they are creating is not in the best interest of the whole. Once they have a taste for power, they will continue to seek it. They are addicted to how it feels. Even being hated by others is beneficial to them as it validates their control over others, even if it's negative. They will be remembered. In what light is not important to them, only legacy and fame. If you aren't wired that way, it becomes difficult to relate and hard to understand. Everyone chooses how they understand things. This comes from what works for them and what their goals are. Not everyone has the same goals or moral compass. You must remember, most of you have had past incarnations. Those strengths and weaknesses come along with you from those lives. You can tap into them whenever you need to. This planet has had a lot of cultural clashes and wars in its past. Most were very barbaric by today's standards. Imagine someone who lived through that being given another chance to get even or continue where they left off. It's just something to think about. This is why learning from the past is so important. What patterns have you seen before in your planet's history? What is repeating itself? What were the conclusions when it happened prior? How did the story end? Pay attention to what might be repeating. You can stop anything no matter how far along it is. You just need to learn and act. Progress in building new to replace what is broken takes time. Don't get discouraged by timelines even if it does not feel like you're getting far. It's much quicker to break and destroy what is already falling apart than it is to set a firm foundation and start over. It's patience that needs to be worked on, and that happens at an individual level. You are wired to desire results immediately. However, progress is an ongoing thing. The journey becomes the focus, not the end destination. If you skip or miss steps, you won't have the best results. You can only handle what is happening in the current moment. Shift your focus there. Find out where you are and what can be done in the present moment. You might find that there is a step you can take to help move things along. Take this time to become accustomed to the transition while it's running its course. It's one thing to go with the flow, but you also need to accept and integrate what is happening. Know that acceptance is a choice, even if it doesn't provide the best results. Even if you don't like what is happening around you, you can still accept that it exists. You don't have to agree with it. Acceptance is not approval. You don't have to approve or condone something to accept that it exists. You don't have to agree with a racist to accept that there are people who are that way. You don't have to approve of how someone spends their money to accept that it's theirs to do what they want with. You can't change what is already in existence, but you can adapt and decide how you will let it affect you. Willing something to not be doesn't change its existence. You can only change your view, perspective, and how much energy you put towards letting it bother you. Don't give your power away towards that which you don't want. Don't give in to hatred just because you see it all around you. You can still find a way to love and show compassion. Be the bigger person even if the other doesn't deserve it. Set boundaries, but don't let them change who you are or dip down to their level. That's what they want you to do. Don't give them that satisfaction. Embody what you want to see, not how you feel in the moment. Hate begets hate. Don't become a victim or join them to their level. Hold to your path, hold to your creations. Don't worry about countering their choices. Continue to make yours and build what you want to see come next. Come from a place of love, not resentment, not revenge, but love. Their goal is to get under your skin and make you look like the bad guy. This is gaslighting, something many on this planet are good at doing. It's a tactic, but it can't work if you are consistent in your message and your actions. They won't be able to provide proof of what they are trying to convince others of if you never come down to their level. Be strong and hold true to yourself. You are stronger than you realize, which is why you are viewed as a threat to those looking for control. You can't control those that see and know the truth, that recognize love and are able to show it even in the darkest days. If they can't bend your will or your outlook, then they can't break you. This is why they try so hard to tear you down. You have something that they don't have: integrity. You can either let what others do affect you, or you can continue to hold space, share love, and build something better. Don't let their tactics distract you from what you came here to do. The more people that are distracted, the less opposition they will have. Keep your blinders off and keep your hard hat on. There is work to be done. It's one thing to be aware of what is happening. It's another to let it consume or immobilize you. You don't have to give in or give up. This is when you need to plant your feet firm and keep your focus. Pretend it's a race and you're in the lead. You can either get distracted by the crowd yelling and look back and see what's happening behind you, or you can keep going. Looking back only slows you down and distracts from the goal. You must keep your focus and power through it. They can't stop you if they can't catch you. So keep your higher vibration and shine as bright as you need to.